What are the different types of economic exploitation? Have you ever wondered how economic exploitation shaped the history of Latin America? It is a fascinating topic that reveals the struggles and resilience of its people. Economic exploitation refers to the unfair use of labor, resources, or land for profit. In Latin America, this exploitation took many forms, especially during colonial times, and it played a significant role in revolutionary movements. One major type of economic exploitation was forced labor systems. The Spanish colonial rulers imposed systems like the encomienda and mita. The encomienda allowed Spanish settlers to demand labor and tribute from indigenous communities. In return, they promised protection and Christianization. However, this often led to severe abuse and overwork. The mita was a forced labor draft, especially in mining regions like Peru. Indigenous workers were compelled to toil in dangerous conditions in mercury and silver mines. Another form of exploitation was slavery and personal bondage. African slavery became widespread as a means to supply labor for plantations and mines. Additionally, systems like Yanakanahe bound indigenous people to a master for long periods, resembling servitude. These practices stripped people of their freedoms and subjected them to harsh conditions for the benefit of colonial elites. Resource extraction for export was also a key aspect of economic exploitation. Colonial economies focused on extracting valuable resources such as gold, silver, sugar, tobacco, and cacao. These goods were exported to Europe, prioritizing profit over local development. Plantation agriculture and mining dominated, with indigenous and enslaved laborers producing goods primarily for foreign markets. Economic exploitation was reinforced by a rigid social and economic hierarchy. European-born settlers and their descendants occupied the top positions, while indigenous peoples and African slaves were at the bottom. This caste system justified unequal access to land, wealth, and power, perpetuating economic disparities. Cultural and economic displacement further complicated the situation. Indigenous populations faced cultural suppression and loss of traditional lands. This disruption weakened their economic self-sufficiency. The imposition of European economic models and Christianity made communities more vulnerable to exploitation. These forms of economic exploitation are foundational causes of social inequality and resistance movements throughout Latin American history. The legacy of these systems continues to influence struggles for land rights, labor justice, and cultural recognition today. Understanding these different types of economic exploitation helps explain the ongoing challenges and social divisions that have shaped Latin America's revolutionary movements and contemporary society.